you are not the man your father was. Now, I don't say that to insult you. I say that based on hard evidence of what's happening to men all over the world. Now, what I tell you right now could improve your quality of life. But first, let's get into what's wrong with young men. The issue is testosterone. Now, this problem has been more mainstream on the self improvement area, but it's not known worldwide. There isn't enough people talking about the issues of how low our testosterone has gotten. If we go back 50 to 100 years, the testosterone levels of those men, your father or your grandpa, were much higher than the men of today. The average level back then, most of them got like on the upper range of 800 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. Nowadays, the average is 3 to 400. Now, that's a big difference, but you may be asking yourself, why is that so important? Well, let's go over what testosterone is first. Testosterone is a male hormone. It's created in the brain, and then the brain sends signals to your testes to produce it. And what does it do? It signals our body to make new blood cells. It ensures our bones and muscles stay strong, and it enhances our libido and sense of well being. Now, is it important? Of course. It affects our ambition and drive to accomplish our goals. And us men can't function without testosterone. And if it's not on a healthy level, it becomes that much harder. We need it in order to live properly, have energy, reproductive health, mental and physical health. Now, here's a graph that goes back about 25, 26 years ago. Now, in just that span of time of 25 to 26 years, you can see the average level of testosterone was 600 nanograms per deciliter. But this was just from 1999. And now, if we go back to today, or a bit after 2016, it's 400. You can see that big decrease in just the span of 25, 26 years. And testosterone is correlated to male health. When you have low testosterone, it leads to multiple health issues, such as reduction in muscle mass and increased body fat. Increased body fat decreases testosterone and actually increases estrogen. Now, we do need estrogen, but we don't need much of it. Too much of it throws off the balance in our body. Loss of body hair, like chest hair or back hair, erectile dysfunction. This affects hundreds of thousands of men and actually has destroyed a couple of relationships. Feeling of depression. If you have low testosterone, you can be feeling down most of the time, and it can affect your quality of life. A low sex drive. This is an issue if you have a girlfriend or if you're married. This can be a big issue. Osteoporosis or like weak bones. This makes it hard for you to like do basic tasks that include like your job, if you work in construction, or anything of that matter. And difficulty with memory and concentrating. When we're building ourselves up, we need to concentrate on our work. And if we can't do that, that becomes a huge issue. Another issue of having low testosterone is sperm count. And if you have low sperm count, it could be harder to have kids. If you're planning to have kids with the woman that you love and you want to start a family with her, this can potentially hinder that. Low testosterone means low sperm count. The less able sperm you have, the less healthy sperm you have, the lower the chances of you having kids. Now, there are some abnormalities when it comes to like the way the sperm looks. It can have like two heads or two tails, and that's not right. It needs to have like a normal head and a one single tail. That way, it can properly fertilize the egg. And now let's come back to like the social media side of what they think about testosterone. It's kind of demonized. Social media has led people to think testosterone is bad because they correlate it to toxic masculinity and crimes committed by men. Now, this correlation of like testosterone being a villain is made by people who lack education. And of course, there are crimes that are committed by men that are evil and they must be condemned. But that can't be a reason to say testosterone is a bad thing. It's quite the opposite. We can't use that example just to say, just like to trash on testosterone. Testosterone has many other important vital parts or functions that men need in order to survive. Now, this has created a society where if you want to optimize your testosterone or have healthy levels of it, it's seen as bad or you're toxic. And of course, that's wrong. We need testosterone in order to live properly, to have proper health and vitality. Hormonal health influences our everyday lives. And it's important that we don't mess up the two of like toxic masculinity and testosterone. Now, obviously, testosterone does have a part to play in about aggression, but it's important to realize that, of course, most men aren't like that. And I'm not here to argue with anyone. They can think however they want. I'm just here to tell you that to have healthy amounts of testosterone is completely fine and normal, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. So, we talked about how the effects of low testosterone, some things that cause low testosterone are you lack of exercise, lack of micronutrients like magnesium, zinc, or vitamin D, lack of sunlight. This goes with the vitamin D, and lack like you don't have any goals. When you don't set yourself goals, you're not ambitious. You're not striving towards something. And testosterone is made to help men strive and to create. And if you lack that, your body isn't gonna have the need to produce it. Here are a couple ways to increase testosterone. First, eat a micronutrient dense diet. Now, micronutrient are the nutrients we get from food or supplements. But I usually recommend to get it from food instead of supplements because supplements are usually underdosed and overpriced. The only supplement that's best is vitamin D. Now, of course, this isn't medical advice. You should always speak to a doctor before adding a supplement, but just keep it in mind. Now, some important vitamins you need is vitamin D3, magnesium, and choline. You can get all this from food, eggs, beef, milk, all that. Exercise. You need to exercise in order to have healthy amounts of testosterone. When our body is under stress, not chronic, but acute stress, our body releases testosterone in order to help us push ourselves while doing that activity. So it could be weightlifting, sprinting, or just walking 10,000 steps a day. That keeps everything at a healthy weight, keeps you at a healthy weight, and make sure like you're still active. Competing. Competition is one of the main drivers of increasing testosterone. It can be a sport, it can be something like chess. I think there was a study done about how these two chess players were competing for like being like the grandmaster, they call it, and they had like a 70% increase in testosterone. It was crazy. But yeah, it definitely shows how competition increases testosterone. And martial arts, that's definitely when you're facing another man. Low belly fat. You need to have low stomach fat because when you have too much, it actually increases estrogen. And we don't need too much estrogen. Eat a clean diet, stay away from junk food, and just have proper sleep. And you need to lower your cortisol. Cortisol causes the body to have inflammation, and inflammation decreases testosterone. You can meditate Watch something comedy related or funny, or journal. And sleep. Sleep is the main driver of, like, not the main driver, one of the most important things when it comes to testosterone. Most of our testosterone is produced while we sleep. 7 to 8 hours per night is usually the best spot. Healthy levels of testosterone lead to a better life. You have better health, more motivation, and ambition. You have higher libido, more energy, and you have better mental health. There's no downside about having healthy testosterone levels. Everyone should strive to have the best health possible, and young men need to make more of an effort because the environment we're surrounded in currently does not support that. And if you guys have any questions, post them down in the comments. This video was just a little seed I'm implementing in your brain. This is an introductory thing. I'm going to go over into this more and like have more action steps later on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Send it to anyone who needs it.